Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing tips on how to make your very own language learning routine. Me myself, I made a new routine like 2 days ago, I think it was. As I was making my own routine, I started planning this video because I was like, if I'm making a new language learning routine, I gotta keep you guys in the loop. Do you know what I mean? I have a video on this channel about a language learning routine that I was using, but now it's slightly different. It's not slightly different, it's very different. However, I still like that routine as well, and I will link it below because I recommend. But I have another one now because I have to evolve, Without wasting more time, I'm just going to get straight into it. First thing you need to do is figure out why you're learning the language. Are you a hobbyist or is it for work? Are you like me and you're just like, I want to be bilingual, like it'll be fun, I just want to learn a new language, you know what I mean? Or like almost you know what I'm saying? Or are you planning to work in France and that do you need to, what kind of vocabulary are we talking about that you need to know? Obviously, if you're like me and you just want to learn the language, then the kind of level you're looking at obtaining is a C1 if you're feeling cheeky, or a high strong B2, because everyday conversation is a B2 level. It doesn't really extend beyond that. However, having an awareness and understanding C1 vocabulary is still very important. Otherwise, you will just sound a bit like dumb, maybe. Think of it in your native language, for example. You want to have a rich vocabulary regardless. So in our second language, our third language, we still want to have rich vocabularies. If we're talking about professionally, say I want to be a doctor in France, for example, there are certain terminologies I'm going to need to know, like cardiovascular disease. Like, can you say that in French? As a hobbyist, you can get away with just speaking and listening in the language, reading as well, because on a day-to-day basis, hanging out with friends, you're not going to be asked to write that much. However, in my personal experience, I actually want to be able to write because I very much value literacy. So even as a hobbyist, I try to get my spelling perfect and write well. You don't have to do that. Obviously, if you're learning it to speak with friends and family, you don't have to do that. As a professional, on the other hand, yes, reading and writing are going to be of utmost importance, maybe even more important so than speaking. Because if you are, for example, doing a PhD in the subject, you're going to have to do a lot more writing than speaking. So whereas your accent might not be important, your grammar will be. The two categories kind of overlap. Like for me, for example, yes, I'm learning Spanish for vibes, but I do see myself living in the country at some point in the future, maybe working there, getting a job in Spain, in Colombia. I do see that for myself. So there can be an overlap between, hobby meets job. That situation could be fun. I'm actually going to Spain in 2 days. So of course I'm going to vlog, not only vlog, but I'm going to do like so many videos. I don't know how many yet. I need to plan that later. How many videos I'm going to do in Spain. Oh my gosh, let me know what you want to see when I go. Comment it now. Wait, I'm going to post this on Sunday. Okay, so as soon as I post this, comment what you want to see. So when I get to Spain, I can see the comments and know what to film. Long-term, short-term goals in the language, boom. In 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, where do you see yourself with the language? Are you hoping to live there? Are you hoping to make loads of friends from that country? Finish a PhD in the subject? I don't know. What is the ultimate goal here? What are we doing? My goal long-term is to have my Spanish and English equally as good. You can't differentiate between the level of English and Spanish that I have in both native and professional settings. I know that's not really how bilingualism works because so many people are bilingual and have strengths in one language over the other. But in my case, I would really, really like to have a level of Spanish that is equal, if not better, than my level of English. So yes, you heard correctly. English is my native language, but I would actually like to speak better Spanish than I do English. Ugh. Something to avoid generally with language learning is just not having an aim. You don't really know where you're going and it starts to feel like you're going in circles. That feeling of going in circles is frustrating. So be clear about what it is you want to know and why you want to know it, and then how you're going to get there. So that's why I just say having an end goal that you're working towards. Like for me, I said I want to be able to read this book by the end of summer. It's a book I've read in English and I really liked it. And this is the Spanish version of it. It's the exact same book. And honestly, it's really scary because when I read this book in English, there were so many words in it I didn't understand, and that was in my native language. So it's not really even an easy book to read in general. So that's why I've put it on my target, for my long-term goal is to be able to read this book. This is something tangible, this is something solid, this is a solid goal that I can work towards. I'm saying that by summer, this summer, I would like to have started this book. You could say, for example, I want to be able to watch this film. This film was 2 hours. I want to be able to watch this film with no subtitles in 6 months, you know, or 8 months, or this time next year, I'm gonna watch this video again and I'm gonna understand everything that was said. So something else that I used to do, which I might start doing again now, because when I think about it, this was actually a really good tip. If I came across a YouTube video in Spanish that I didn't understand at all, I would just save it to my it's either I saved it to my watch later or like another category on YouTube, like a playlist. And 6 months later, I would like go back there, or like 3 months later, or whatever it was, I'd go back to that video and see how much of it I could understand. And it's really, really satisfying when you save a difficult video, like you save it and then you come back to it in 3 months and you understand it, or you come back to it in 6 months and you understand it. Even if you don't understand all of it, you'll understand more. Like you should, in theory, understand more in 6 months than you do now. So I think that's a great way to track progress, just saying. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you take everything that I've said into consideration when you go to make your own language learning routine, and I wish you the best of luck. And remember that making a routine is the easy part and sticking to it is hard. So thank you for watching and bye.